What's up, everybody? It's the Mystic Mary Show, episode 5, brought to you by StreamYard. I got my boy Nick Weetoish with me here of Sleeper Sports Media. Excuse me. Introduce yourself, brother. It's been a while since you've seen this side of the fans.
It has been a long time, been a minute. Happy to be back and ready to chat some happenings in the sports world.
Absolutely. There's so much going on, man. You got basketball going on, prime of it, hockey's rolling. You got a lot in the professional wrestling world, especially on the way to WrestleMania. Got UFC 298 tomorrow night. It's so much to be excited about.
Oh, it's best time of the year. I mean, football just ended, so it's kind of sad. But as we roll into the period after football ends, before baseball starts, so much is happening in that window. The NHL All Star Game just happened. What last weekend I think it was, and now the NBA All Star Game this weekend. That's usually the only time I ever really watch the NBA because it always ends up the NBA All Star Game is always usually around my birthday. And I remember this one time I went to a Bears game, which is a semi-pro, the Capitals farm team
Yeah.
up in Hershey. My uncle and I went to a Bears game, and then we were going to watch the NBA All Star Game whenever we got back. We got to the Giant Center, and his car wouldn't turn off.
Oh, man.
We couldn't figure out why it wouldn't turn off, so we had to get back in the car, drive home, and then finally we figured it out. It was something weird with the battery, but yeah, so we didn't get to go to the game, but we watched the All-Star game, and the Celebrity All-Star game is usually what I always like to watch and has always been my favorite. But
It's
that's my
definitely
little
some
take on
entertainment.
basketball there.
I like basketball. I'm not the biggest diehard fan. I love my Spurs. I have a lot of talent in the league I like. I'll more watch it when it gets into the playoffs. That's more. I'm not like, every game. It's a long season like baseball. It's just so hard to keep up with it. But I do love basketball. Nothing's better than seeing a three and some D, man. That's the kind of style I like. But man, with WrestleMania season going on, what are your expectations for SmackDown tonight?
I mean, they're teasing that it's going to be something big. Everything changes tonight is what they're teasing. Um, my guess is, I mean, it's going to be heavy with Roman and The Rock both returning and being there live. Um, Alba Fire replacing Shotzi in the women's elimination chamber match, and that switched up the matchups. It's now Zelina Vega and Tiffany Stratton, and Zelina Vega and Naomi. So I'm going with Tiffany and Naomi to get into the chamber. And it's gonna, I mean, Logan Paul and the Miz, Kevin Owens and Dom, your boy. Um,
Man, he might. It's hard to see him losing that.
yeah.
It's tough.
I think he's gonna start to get a push, especially because he's on SmackDown tonight. So hopefully the rest of the Judgment Day isn't there, and we can kind of see him shine as for the first time, pretty much ever as
Yeah,
solely just Dominic Mysterio.
I'd like to
Um,
see that.
but he had an interview somewhere, and he was asked about when he gets the creative plans for WrestleMania and everything, and he said he doesn't know what he's doing. He just goes and whatever he's told, he does to the best that he can, and that's just kind of how he's been going at it. So, I mean, I know you don't like him for whatever reasons, but
He's
he's
putting
gonna
work
start
in.
he's gonna start to shine, I think, because it was reported months ago, if not a year ago, that Triple H is very, very high on Dominic Mysterio, and I am excited to see what he does after the Judgment Day when he finally gets a chance to be himself.
I will say for the big shoes he's got to fill. I am kind of glad he's gone his own route and not trying to
Yes,
be his daddy per se.
yes,
I will say I do respect that about him. Who
yeah,
knows? It might take a character change or some different work for me to come around on. I mean, I don't turn the channel on him like I used to, but I'm not
yeah,
sitting there. I'm kind of neutral. I'm not really booing him because that's what he wants, and I
yeah,
ain't really cheering him. But it's
yeah.
still weird that whoever runs his verified account blocked me, and they had 100,000 followers at the time of it. And I don't know. I'm not saying he runs it because a lot of wrestlers and famous people have athletes that run or talent to run their socials,
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I was talking some serious junk to the guy, tagging him, and people was tagging me, my name on his post, bro.
Yeah.
You know, some of the people that would be doing stuff like that. You could
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Logan Paul. I like Logan Paul to win. I've come around on him a long way. Uh, Jake, that's a whole different story. But you can't not respect what Logan's doing right now.
Oh, it's incredible. He just had a put it on Twitter. He was down at the Performance Center. And he saw that Montez Ford has the NXT long jump record, and there was videos of him trying to break it, and he came
Wow.
very, very close. He was like two, I think it was like 11 feet or something like that, and he got to like 9.6. So he was right there at just about beating Montez Ford for the record. But then Montez Ford quote tweeted it and said, "Respect for trying. Maybe one day. ... So
Man, he's
teasing
got
a
a
potential,
ridiculous vertical.
yeah, I mean, it's teasing, potential matchup of Logan Paul and Montez
That'd be
for the
fun.
U.S. title potentially.
I was trying to
Um,
think. I can see it in my head. I don't remember the exact spot, but where Logan, it might have been from a Roman spear. I don't know, but where he did a vertical like that and completely
yeah,
avoided it.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
see
And
a lot of
he
people get up like that at his size.
he he's been doing that for forever. His mom was a gymnast in college, I believe, and that's where he gets all. I mean, him and Jake both crazy athletes. Um, and then their wrestling and football background in high school and what they did in the state of Ohio for both wrestling and football is crazy. Logan, he had a full wrestling scholarship for the University of Ohio, and he chose to go for academics instead. He was going to be an engineer, and then he
Oh
chose
wow.
to move to LA and become a YouTuber. Well, Viner at the time, but
Yeah, I do remember them old Vine days. Oh, we got a guest, my boy Paul from Ireland, Belfast, Northern Ireland to be specific. Appreciate you. Our boy Elijah in here. He always showing us love, bro.
yep.
My brother Jordan in here. Thank you, man. Jordan don't give a shit about sports, but if he sees me, he's here. This a guy, another like my brother, Brandon Anderson. Grew up with him, man. I appreciate you. I'm sure Davey's somewhere nearby watching too. I appreciate everybody. We got some solid love going on in here right now. Got Kelly in here. Hey Kelly, what's going on? We appreciate you on the stream. Man, it's crazy, like you were saying about Logan Paul, though. I mean, he's really built a name for himself. Like
Yes.
a lot of people, me included, didn't have the nicest of stuff to say about him. So I wasn't as hard on him as I am Jake, but he's really
Yeah.
turned it around. I mean, you can't hate on him. He's got love for the business.
Yep.
Puts in the work into the gym. He can get on the mic and talk with the best of them. It's
Yep.
just really hard to. If you're hating him still, it's a you problem, really. I mean, I could
Exactly.
get maybe not liking the character, but the work he does, you can't question it.
It's been awesome, and I still can't, like, I see him advertised for SmackDown tonight, and I still can't believe, thinking about 3 or 4 years ago now, whenever I first found out about Impulsive and started watching his stuff. And then right around that time, I was still freshly new to WWE, and then all of a sudden he's being advertised for WrestleMania 37, and then taking a stunner from Kevin Owens, and
It's
now
crazy.
here we are 3 years later, and he's beaten Kevin Owens twice now for the U.S. title. So it's crazy. And everything he's doing with Prime. They just signed Patrick Mahomes before the Super Bowl, and then Patrick goes and wins the Super Bowl. So first Prime athlete to win a championship. I mean, they got hockey now and boxing. They're trying to get into basketball with the Mavericks and everything. So I mean,
It's
everything.
a monster now. The Prime drink has become a big
Yes,
monster.
they with their partnership with the UFC. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy how big it's getting,
Did you see
and
Dana White
everything
the
he's
other
doing.
day?
When he on the Nelk Boys podcast, or when he walked off Howie Mandel's podcast?
Walked off. Some people thinking that staged, man. I don't
Yeah,
really. Dana's that kind of guy too, but
yeah,
he also, I don't know. You'll catch him on a podcast here in a
yeah,
week.
yeah. I mean, I watched like 30 minutes of the Nelk Boys one where he was the mediator with Bob Menery and Kyle, and I mean, the whole time it was just them yelling back and forth. So I can see why he's sick. Why he's sick of
It's
them.
tiring.
Um,
You really got to watch who you have on there, and if you have people like that, you got to be in a mood for that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of, the Nelk Boy, their podcast. I watch them, like, if it's like a big guest, like the Andrew Tate one, I watched it. I've watched a couple other ones too, but like for the most part, I can't. They just kind of ramble or they just scream at each other. Like, especially with Bob
Yeah.
Menery when he was a part of it,
Jeez.
I couldn't, I couldn't watch it.
I was wondering what made Dana mad because a lot of people were saying, the comedian Ginger Billy that was there, he got offended by the ginger comment, and like that's his name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Dana's a
I,
weird dude, bro.
yeah,
I think the guy
I
asked him how
just,
his wife was, and you remember Dana slapped her.
yeah,
You just certain stuff you don't talk to talk to Dana White about.
yeah,
He'll
yeah.
snap in an instance. But he has
I,
big news tonight, though. He says he has a main event. He's gonna or tomorrow night. He's
yeah,
gonna announce at the end of the pay-per-view main event for the UFC 300. Says he has something that'll break the internet.
I did see that. The clip, I just saw a clip on, I think TikTok or Twitter of him walking off the podcast with Howie Mandel. And it was Howie giving him, the intro, whatever. And then all of a sudden Dana just says, I'm so sick of podcasts. I'm done. And then
Dana's
he walks off. And I clipped it and posted it. And everyone's like, oh, Howie gave him a fake intro. Like, what do you
Howie was
mean? No.
honestly he was giving him
Yeah.
love.
And Dana said he just sick of podcasts right now. And I mean, after the Nelk Boys one, I don't blame him.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
blame him.
Dana got too much going on. He don't need to worry about a damn podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean everything, with especially like this weekend with UFC being, in 298 and getting close to 300. I did see that he was going to announce the 300 main event after 298, which is pretty cool. This is also the first weekend that TKO is doing their cross promotion of WWE and UFC in the same venue. So that's going to be good. Raw
Makes you
should be
wonder.
Raw should be really good Monday. Oh, there's Hunter in the
Nice.
comments.
We appreciate you in here, dog. Got a nice Hunter in here seeing us. Me and you gonna talk about with your UFC 300. That's gonna be a nice one, man. Oh, I'm excited about tomorrow's fights, honestly, too. But I've been trying to piece together who might be that main event, but I don't know because John Jones done said he can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't. Conor McGregor, he ain't even in the drug testing pool, so I don't know unless he pays a lot of money like Brock Lesnar did and bypasses it. I've seen somebody throw Brock Lesnar's name in there. I'm like, maybe 3 years ago. That would probably break the internet though. But Brock
Yeah.
wrote it up again.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't know how Endeavor and TKO would really handle that, being that he's tied into all the mess with Vince and what WWE has done on that side. That Hunter has another comment in there.
Okay, made first 3 shorts on my personal page. Keep it up, man. I'm actually tomorrow the 17th. My restrictions, that shit's gone with YouTube. My views might go up again finally. And I think it's gonna be Izzy and Drickus or Leon Edwards fight for 300. Izzy and Drickus would be great. I thought I read somewhere where that couldn't happen too, but I'm not sure, man. I've seen so much from different combat media. It's just I don't know. Leon Edwards, I wouldn't hate on that. You would think it would have to be a title fight or something like that. I don't know though. You got big names that you can just plug into without a belt. I don't know. When you say it's going to break the internet, it better break the damn internet.
Yeah, for real.
Dana don't just say stuff like that. I don't recall him ever saying nothing like that.
Yeah.
And he normally never. I swear, if he didn't say that, Nick, if I was a media member at the end of UFC 298 and asked anything about matchmaking, you know what he's going to say? That's on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know Dana in and out. You can't ask him about a fight on Saturday night. He'll tell you ask him Tuesday.
Yeah. But I mean, Bob Menery during the Nelk podcast, he was, pushing Dana to try and get him to announce the 300 main event on the podcast. And then Dana's like, well, I'm not going to do it just because you said for me to do it, because if I do it and then it blows up, then
That's
I'm
something to
never
love
going to
for.
hear the end of it, and it's going to
Right.
be all, you like, oh, I did it because of Bob, and he won't shut up about it. There's a
Bias
comment from
Radio.
my YouTube. Yeah, he's from the Hardcore Sports Network.
Nice. What's up, man? I'll definitely I'll come check your YouTube out. We appreciate you on the stream for sure, bro. I'm loving the people that make the time to come in here and talk to us. I know USC 298, the main event's crazy. I got the cards here somewhere.
Yep, I'm pulling it up too.
Yeah, they canceled Anthony Hernandez and Ikram Alexerov, but they got Anthony Hernandez and Roman Kopylov now fighting. I don't know too much about Roman, but Anthony's a game. I mean, he's a big game fighter. He's got really good crisp boxing. Tough to put on his back. I'm gonna have to do some research on Roman Kopylov. With a name like that, I ain't sleeping on him. I'll go ahead and tell you, any of them Russian names in the Caucasus region, you're a fool if you sleep on them. I like this one, Merab Davishvili versus Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo is a legend, man. I don't know if you know much about him or not.
I
But
don't. I'm looking at the card as well. The only the only names I really recognize are obviously Volk, being that he's a prime athlete.
Savage.
Ian Gary, I believe,
Yep,
is signed with Better and Jake Paul.
he is.
And then
Hold
there's
on a
another
second.
one.
Got a cat trying to bust in. No, you know better. That's one thing I don't allow. In my room, the office, I can't have them in there. They got their own space, bro.
Oh, Miranda Maverick. That was Hunter interviewed her on Apples and Grapes Media.
Nice. William Roberts, breaking news. Cowboys win in the Super Bowl next
We
year.
don't need that misinformation on this program.
It didn't take them long. That's his way of saying hello. And Marab, yeah, Marab, he's a beast, and I kind of want to lean with him against Cejudo off of activeness. He's more active. Cejudo, retired, came back, had a close fight with Aljo. I don't believe he's fought since. But Cejudo is an Olympic caliber wrestler, dude. He's very short though, and that might be his downfall in this fight. He can get picked apart because Marab can throw some damn combinations. He's got kicks. He's got nasty Muay Thai. He's got a really good jab. He can grapple you. Don't sleep on that. I'm going to lean with him, probably to edge Cejudo on a decision because Cejudo is tough to finish, man. But if Cejudo pulled it off, that's just a testament to who he is. He didn't look bad after the layoff in that title fight, and he would have been C4 if he would have beat it was Aljamain Sterling. So yeah, he would have been C4 if he would have won that fight. There ain't no other guy that can even say they have those kind of accolades in the UFC. And Jeff Neal and Ian Gary, I ain't even talked to the people about Ian Gary with his stuff going on. I don't know everything, but I know I've read he's got some issues with his wife. She likes to mess around with other men, I guess. I like Ian Gary, dude. I'm not trying to sound like that, but I wouldn't put up with that. I'd be single as fuck before I put up with that.
Yeah,
But
I'm right there with you.
he's like a Conor McGregor prototype to me, though, just a little longer. Dude fights like Conor. He gets on the mic like Conor. This is a tough fight, though, because this guy, his strength is kickboxing. So it ain't like you're going to be bullying this guy. He's got reach. He's got technique, experience against really high-level competition. I'm going to lean with Ian Gary, but this is a big, big stepping stone for him. And if he lets all that bullshit in the back of his mind about what people are saying about his marriage and bother him, he'll have a really long fight. But
Yeah.
he's nasty, man. I've been impressed with his rise, and I try not to judge the fighters' lives when I'm looking at them fight, because John Anik, one of the famous UFC commentators, he was out there exposing these two fighters having custody issues at home. I would never do that. And
Yeah,
he's on a live pay-per-view broadcast telling their name and the women, the kid issues. I'm like, I guess I see why people threaten people online. William, how we doing, gentlemen? Doing good. How about you, Nick?
good. Good. Yeah, ready for SmackDown tonight. Be going live on the Hardcore Sports Network with Earl and my channel as well, and gonna try and catch some of UFC this weekend because I don't have any other big plans. So
I'm having me some beer tonight. I don't even care. We got other stuff to talk about too, like life shit. Not yet, but
yeah,
uh Elia can beat Volk. That's who I want. I love Tapuria, man. That's my guy on UFC 5 right now. I ain't gonna lie. His fucking hands are just nasty. He can tap you out. He ain't somebody you want on top of you either. He's very well rounded. But dude, Volk, I can't sleep on Volk, man. That's been one of my favorite fighters for a long time. I'm interested to see how he bounces back after that nasty knockout loss, though, because sometimes some guys never come back the same. And the confidence Tupuria has is unreal. I've seen him flexing with the title and smiling. He's like, "Oh, I know this is a jinx. I don't care." He's wanting to take that title home,
yeah,
and I think he's going to have to probably finish him to do it. I don't think he'll win it on the scorecards unless he just straight beats the dog shit out of him, easily.
yeah,
But we're basically leaning the same way. Whitaker and Costa. I'd go Whitaker. Costa's really nasty. He's got good power, but he don't have really good technique. I don't think he leans on just throwing bombs, but he could clip Whitaker and win. But I think Whitaker's too experienced at the championship level. He's had so many championship fights, so many wars. But that being said, that can wear you down. His 2 wars with Yoel Romero, just them 2 fights alone, he's probably lost 10 years of his life. If you never watched that, Nick, just go to YouTube and type Yoel Romero, Robert Whitaker 2 highlights. Both of their fights, they were in the hospital together. I mean, nobody got finished. It was just a war for 5 rounds.
yeah,
It's just one of them fights you don't forget. It's like engraved in my brain. And then you see something like that. Yoel Romero fought Israel Adesanya, and literally, you know what they did for 3 rounds? They danced. All they did was dance, dude. They didn't even nobody got hurt. I
yeah.
seen there was like 20 significant strikes thrown in the whole fight.
That's
Man,
crazy.
people
That's
booed them
wild.
out of that stadium, man. I think Dana was giving refunds and shit. That was a bad fight. But luckily Israel, had another fight where he knocked the hell out of somebody and got his name back. But when you fight somebody like Yoel Romero, you're not going to knock him out. So if Izzy bull rushes him, he's probably going to get knocked out. This guy will stand there like a turtle shell and walk you down. Like, there ain't nothing you can really do.
Yeah,
And I think all Izzy did was he was tapping his leg, like not even hard leg kicks, like tapping them, like jabbing it. That's how he won. He was tapping his thighs or his quads with his ankle, basically. It works, but it's like man. I guess when you fighting a killer like that, you got to do what you got to do, though.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the fight game is the fight game, and whatever they're gonna going in to win is one thing. Then going in to give the people a show. I mean, I know that's part of it, but
Yeah, but
at the end of the
especially if you're
day,
a champion.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
seen Kamaru Usman fought one of my favorites, Jorge Masvidal, and he beat him by holding him against the cage and stomping his foot. Didn't even
yeah,
punch him in the head, just held him there and stomped his foot. It's effective, but damn, bro. But it's like, how you gonna let him sit there and just do that?
yeah.
You got to get out of that situation too. You know what I mean? My boy Isaac in here. Somebody done beat you to the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, bro. Isaac's cool people. He does a lot of streaming with games and stuff. Very knowledgeable sports guy. He's from New York. Very, very good friend of mine. We even had some viewers in here and some reactions tonight, man. And one thing I've noticed, everybody that's commented has been linked with StreamYard.
That's wow. That's I mean, it's about time that the
Yeah,
people listen and get their give StreamYard their permission.
for real. I love Nadine from StreamYard, man. I got her email somewhere. I'm gonna go look at it right now. But she's helpful, man. Like, I'll just let the thing expire. Like, I'll get it again when I'm about to go live. Wait a day or
Yeah,
two, and she'll just email me a damn discount. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I guess the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game is tonight. I'm looking at Twitter right now. They got
Oh shit.
4 minutes ago. They had Kai Cenat coming out and his hit for the intros.
Dang.
And Rampage is on right now. They're showing Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy, which Jeff Hardy got a broken nose from when this was taped on Wednesday
I
night.
seen that. Man, he got knocked out, bro.
Yeah, yeah, wasn't good. Sammy was getting a whole bunch of hate. I mean, it's
Jeff was too on my post. A few people were like, man, the drugs. I'm like, dude, this ain't got nothing to do with that. Like,
yeah. I
and he
mean,
was
it
like,
just
well,
it
he's a
happens.
liability. And I'm like, dude, this situation really has nothing to do with that. The guy,
Yeah,
it was just like a mistake, and he
yeah,
fell in the face.
yeah. I
You
mean,
can't help that.
I didn't watch it. 20 seconds ago, Powerhouse Hobbs uh just did a sneak attack on. He attacked Sammy from behind after the match was over. So,
Oh, wow.
I mean, I guess they're setting up for Revolution, which is on March 3rd, I believe. Which is their next pay per view. I'm so glad that we got AEW with having pay per views whenever WWE doesn't, because they don't have one in
How it should
March.
be.
So,
What do you
um,
mean, Isaac? You asking to join or asking to share your stream? What you asking? Either way, I got you. But I can't with Nadine. I ain't able to get like an actual damn email. But if you can go get their customer service email, what I do is I email it and ask for Nadine. Is what I would do. Because when I try to email or send something, it shows StreamYard, but it's Nadine who's talking to me. Like
yeah,
when I go to email, it shows StreamYard for some reason.
right.
Them people are helpful though. The chatters to share your stream. I'm confused at what you're asking, bro.
I think he's telling everyone in the chat to share it.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. You the man, Isaac. You and shit, tag me on your streams. I mean, even if I can't watch it the whole way, I can always share it to my shit. You know, that's what friends do. Let's see what we was looking at. UFC 298 basically been covered. Let's see. I know hockey. I ain't followed hockey too much. I know my Capitals ain't doing the best, but Ovi's been getting his goals though.
yeah. I just saw. I just made a short about Crosby. He recorded his 12th consecutive 30-goal season, and
Man,
he's now second all time amongst active players, behind, of course, Ovechkin, who has 17.
them two are a class of their own, man.
I'm telling you,
You
number
got
one and
respect them.
number two in the world.
Can't miss watching either of them guys play. No matter how you feel about either team, they're both talented, tough. I love hockey. A lot of people was voting the other day when I asked what was the most disciplined sport, and they say that it might be the toughest, but I wouldn't say the most disciplined. But I
Yeah,
thought it
I
was a good
mean,
option.
yeah, it give or take with any professional sport. I mean,
Yep,
um,
everything's tough for sure in different ways. Some can be physically taxing, mentally,
yeah,
both. I know soccer I don't really care about at all, but the conditioning and that's just bonkers.
yeah. I couldn't. I mean, I saw Kevin Patrick. He landed a job in with the MLS on their Apple TV and their MLS 360. So I mean, it's great that he got a job and everything. He's a big soccer guy, so I can see why he went that
For
route. But
sure.
it's
Taste your passion.
great that he got a job after he was been released a couple weeks ago from WWE.
Gotta chase your passions. Corey Dickerson. Got to listen to y'all. Forgot I was cooking. I'm glad you didn't have a house fire. I hope not. And if you did, I'm sure you wouldn't be here right now. Be careful, man. Set an alarm. Sometimes you could just be chilling and forget. One day, I don't hardly ever make cooking errors. I'm just so crazy with cooking and obsessed with it. I fell asleep one day, son. Pizza in the oven. I
Oof.
woke up. That bitch nothing was on fire, but that bitch was black.
Yeah.
Never again. I literally told myself I was going to rest my eyes a second. Yeah. Like, I hear you. You want me to add this to the stage, Nick?
Yeah, we'll run down the standings. Yeah, I mean the Pens and Caps, they're right there.
Jeez.
neck and neck with that the lower part of the Metro. Trying to see. I mean, the Panthers, they're
They're
killing it.
balling
The Bruins, the Rangers.
always.
I mean, the Flyers are up there. Don't like that, but um,
Oh, Philly Flyers.
yep.
Carolina seems to always be doing good until the postseason.
Yeah, lately the last couple years they've definitely been up there, and then the postseason. I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. So,
And people,
um,
I don't drink piss water like Bud Light, y'all. So if any real beer wants to sponsor me, Modelo can.
I got into Michelob Ultra last summer whenever I
That's
was
true.
picking up golf, and I think that's now my beer of choice.
Good evening from the Hardcore Sports Network. We appreciate you, brother. All of you, whoever's running it right now, we definitely appreciate you here. What's going on, Brandon? I hope you've had a pretty good week, brother. No, it was your birthday on the 15th, man. I hope you didn't work too hard that day, but I know your ass did. It's all love, man. Hit me up sometime, homie.
Trying to see here what the Penguins got going.
How deep did Florida go last year? I could probably check that while you're doing that because I feel like they were like close to doing it last year.
Yeah, I can't remember. Honestly, I don't really pay attention to hockey besides like what I see, popping up on Facebook, and then whenever the playoffs roll around, that's when I really focus on it. Um,
Oh, they made it to the Stanley Cup final, but they lost to the
okay,
Golden Knights.
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense because I do
Florida
remember.
beat Boston, who was the top seed last year,
Yes,
pretty
yep,
pretty bad.
yep,
Because that was my favorite, really, out of the East was Boston.
yeah,
It's Earl. We appreciate you, bro. You've been
yep.
putting in some great work, man. I've been seeing it, and I'm very proud and impressed.
I'll see you
I got to
soon,
get
Earl.
back on that wrestling stuff too a little more. A little clip with The Rock, man, that got me excited, wanting to talk wrestling.
Yep.
And I said it's the random stuff. I didn't post that. I thought it'd be like a typical sport, 100 views. All right. But I
Yeah.
posted it for me. It ain't like, I go on there
Yeah.
and want to post it for myself. And then, boom, 50,000. That was one of the most viewed things I've had this year so far.
Yeah. It hopefully once you're able to re-verify yourself tomorrow, you can you start to see the
Yeah.
views pop up and get back up to where they should be.
I installed CapCut yesterday. I was messing with it a little bit.
So
Pretty
that's
legit.
another good tool to get going.
Yeah. That and
For
Canva, I
sure.
swear by those.
Canva, I love it. Another one is Eclipse. It takes your
Eclipse.
streams and it gives you highlights, and then
Yeah, I
you
need to
can
check
you
that
can
out.
post those as videos and just clips.
So, favorite sport and team. You can go ahead, Nick, first if you want.
I am all Pittsburgh, Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, and I'm also a Yankees fan. Penn State fan, college wise. Penn State, West Virginia, and Villanova. Um, and I mean mostly Villanova for basketball, West Virginia football, Penn State football. But I like their all three of the basketball teams. Yeah, and then wrestling,
Can't beat it.
WWE, AEW. Yep.
Sure, you already know. I can tell by that profile picture. I like the Orioles and the Ravens. I like my Maryland Terrapins. I want to say, I like Coastal a lot too. It's okay to have a couple college teams. I feel
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
ain't like it's the pros, but
Yeah.
even in the pros, like that, I had an argument with somebody the other day, and the screenshot didn't lie, but it said "fuck the team," you know. But anyway, if you're gonna have a second team, it makes sense to like the other conference, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I had to pick a second NFL team, in my life I've went two ways. I'd never claimed this one now, but I've been caught in Redskins jerseys.
Yeah.
My grandma was a Redskins fan, so I rock with them, but I can't rock with that. What they are now, I can't.
Yeah.
I like the San Antonio Spurs and basketball a lot. I was very blessed. I got to watch them go on like a Patriots type run with the championships as a kid growing up. Capitals and hockey, like the Hershey Bears.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Giant
about
Center is pretty
it.
dope. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, My friend that I was telling you about that does wrestling podcast too, Cody Montanaro.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big Hershey Bears fan. He knows all about them. I couldn't have a conversation too long with him. That's about it with me. I mean, combat wrestling. Yeah, nah, cool as the Steelers. LOL. Yeah, you cool people, Corey. I've seen you around a little bit, and you like the Miami Heat and basketball. I
Yeah,
will say,
basketball. I mean, I when I first started, my first memory of watching anything basketball was like '07, and it was LeBron.
yeah,
So, and I have family in Cleveland, so I've always been like a Cavs fan up until he left and went to the Heat, and then pretty
mhm.
much from there it was just I'm just a LeBron fan. So,
The interesting thing about the Heat, they are my favorite finals games. The Spurs and the Heat played back to
yes,
back. And I
yes,
remember the night they lost in that game 7, I think it was, or it might have been a 6. But I said
yeah,
Spurs will be back next year, and they was. I was at
yes.
work. I worked at a casino, and I was on lunch. They had a place called the Buffet where you eat,
Mm.
and I was watching the end of that game, and everybody knew I was a Spurs fan that was there. And I said, "Watch, we're gonna be back next year in this spot with this team."
Yep. Yeah,
And
it
they
was
just blew through the playoffs, both of them, the following year.
the run that they went on. I mean, those what? I mean,
They had 4
eight,
years in the finals
yeah, eight out of 9 or 8 out of 10 years,
combined. Yeah,
LeBron was in the finals. I mean, going back and forth between the Heat and
everywhere he
Spurs.
went.
I mean, it's crazy. That's
Got
really when
retired to LA.
that was the last time I really watched basketball. Was I guess the last time it was uh, the 2016 series against the Warriors. That was
Oh,
like the
goodness.
last time.
Sad how bad the Spurs are now. Yep, and I had people telling me Wemby was the answer. I'm like, dude, the guy ain't even played a snap yet. It's like it's a team sport, and Wemby's talented, but he can't do it all by himself. Coach Pop needs some help in there, man. He's talking about he ain't quite. I don't know if he's quite ready to retire. When people talked about it, he was like, "Nah," but he might want him another ring, man. I don't know. It'll be a while before we're sniffing that. He got about all he gonna get. I'm always a Spurs fan. I respect how they play basketball. In the prime of it, it was very unselfish basketball teamwork. Coach Pop didn't care if you were the best player in the world. He benched you if you didn't put the team first.
It's what
Then you got some players that's all about them. They want 80 points.
yeah,
They ain't passing. Now some guys like Kobe have the right to do that.
yeah,
When Kobe wasn't passing, he was going to win. But other guys, they can be ball hogs, and I'm not a fan of that.
yeah. I mean, really, the only I'm. It's crazy that I can't even tell you the last time I sat down and watched a basketball game. Um, but hearing anything I hear now with basketball is Caitlin Clark and what she's doing in Iowa.
She's
I mean,
killing it.
it's insane.
She's
Um,
on like big time sports news page.
yes,
She's
yes,
big time.
they're getting. I see them. I mean, they're advertising Iowa and whoever they're playing whenever they play on Fox on SmackDown every single week. It seems like they or I see him pop up on Peacock. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy what she's doing for women's basketball as a whole. After last year when they lost to LSU and everyone was mocking her for doing the Cena, and then
yeah,
whatever they did it back and whatever.
part of it.
So yeah, I mean, I do like Caitlin Clark.
Me too.
I mean, I'm Penn State fan, so if it comes down to Penn State and Iowa, like in the women's Big Ten championship, whatever, I was Penn State. But
Yeah,
I mean, Penn
no,
State's never been a basketball school, so Caitlin Clark is pretty dope.
he did. And I was funny thing about me, Iowa. That's the first football college jersey I ever owned, and I'm not a fan by any means, but that's where my dad's from. And
Hmm.
one Christmas, I got it. Didn't know who it was. I couldn't tell you that, but
Yeah,
I just something I remember. I felt like I looked like a Steeler, but then when you
yeah,
read the history of all that, it makes sense.
yeah,
At the time, I didn't understand like why does this look just like the Steelers, but it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of rich history there.
yeah. I remember one time I looked it up why that why the Iowa why Iowa chose to do black and yellow, make their jerseys just like the Steelers, but I can't remember why now. I mean,
I remember it's hazy too, but I remember it made sense whatever I read because I used to question the hell out of it. He had
yeah,
some kind of connection or something to the Steelers, I want to
that's
say.
right. Yeah. Um,
It made me stop making that joke. I remember that. Because I swear it looked identical. You'd think I was wearing a Steelers jersey.
yeah. Hayden Fry modeled the Hawkeyes' new uniforms in '79 after another black and gold team, the most dominant NFL squad of the '70s. Fry reached out for permission, and the Pittsburgh Steelers sent Terry Bradshaw's jersey and pants so the exact measurements could be taken of the numbers, lettering, and the trim. Fry also commissioned a new logo for the helmet, leading to Cedar Rapids marketing artist Bill Colbert's creation of the Tiger Hawk. Today, Iowa Steelers inspired gear and the Tiger Hawk are college football classics. So yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
Can't hate on that when you hear
No,
it from that
I do
perspective.
remember that though. The first Penn State game that I went to, I think I'm pretty sure it was against Iowa. I was like, this was maybe 2 years after I really started paying attention to football and knowing what was going on. And I'm
Mhm.
like, why are they wearing Steelers jerseys at a Penn State game? And then I realized that it was Iowa. But yeah, it was always that was something I always thought was pretty cool, that they look just like the Steelers jerseys.
Yeah, they're identical. I ain't no faking it. I thought that forever. I don't even know where that jersey went. I just probably threw it away when I outgrew it. I was young, man. When I was like 11, from like 11 to 13, I shot up like a foot, and then I didn't grow again. It was a weird process. Like my ankles always hurt. My voice was cracking bad. Dude, my puberty sucked. I had an art teacher that was making fun of me because I'd be talking to you, eek, it would just
Yeah,
crack. Like
yeah,
the adolescence in me would come back out, and I'm like, man, it was embarrassing. But everything hit me like in a summer. It felt like, dude, I
mm,
went from a kid to a grown ass fucking dude, and people at my age were still kids. It felt like weird.
yeah. I'm
See.
trying to see any other news around the, since we were talking about the Steelers. I mean, we can.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Um,
I think, Jason Kelsey, I read a source, I think was from Adam Schefter. He says it's pretty much all but confirmed he ain't coming back.
wow, that's crazy, because I think around it was something about Mitch from Hardcore Sport. He posted a short saying that he was potentially talking about
Coming
coming
back.
back, coming back.
Hey,
Yeah.
he might have
So
seen a clip a little more recently. I ain't gonna hate on Mitch. He knows Philly sports really well.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like I said, I could have seen something old, and he
yeah,
could have seen something new, but it wouldn't feel right without him there maybe trying to push another run because that's a talented team, man. They just really fell off bad.
yeah. I was I was as we saw the last couple weeks of the season, and I was in the last month or two of school and everything. And Indy and we were doing our PA sports podcast for the assignments and everything. And I kept asking her every week. I'm like, are the Eagles hitting a wall? And when are they going to break through it and mess around and get
Mm.
get everything together and be able to make a run? And sure enough, they did not.
They look so bad. Like even in that wild card game, like all of the
Yeah.
demons, it came and haunted them in that game.
Yes.
Everything that could go wrong just went wrong. It's a
Yeah.
sad way to go out.
Yeah. And Jason, I mean, Kelsey, he deserves to be able to go out on top,
He
regardless
does.
of, like, as long as they have a good season. And then
Yeah,
because I think that's what he wants. He doesn't want to go out
like that.
like that. Yeah. There's him and Travis both
He's
they're
motivated, that's
just,
for sure.
they are just competitors, and
Yeah,
they love ball. I mean, that's
that's
point
a
blank
fact.
period.
People were messing with me damn week after the week old post. Want to go back on that? I had about 1,000 comments like on an old post. I'm like, bro, If y'all were me, you would delete this.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing is I know Ravens fans that they some of them have deactivated their Facebook. Some of them have deleted a lot of posts. The way I look at it, if I got 1,000 likes on something and I'm wrong, I can eat it. I ain't deleting a piece of content with that kind of activity.
Yeah.
And I mean, I even said the game was what I said it would be. It would be led by the defenses, which it was. I mean, the Ravens held them to 0 points the second half. If you can't ask for a better defense. I mean, they both have championship caliber defenses, no doubt. But what really boggled my mind in that game? You're the number one ranked offense. You run the ball 6 times.
Yeah. That's
what threw me off. But I even got an answer to my own argument after doing more research. The very first drive, they tried to run the ball, got 1 yard. Tried to run it again, nothing. 3rd and long, incomplete. You're punting the ball, they score. You're behind 7-0.
Yep.
So now it's a different game.
Yeah.
So a lot of people saying it's rigged. My thing about that is if it's rigged, when our boys win this shit all, when we win it all, it's rigged. Don't be celebrating like you didn't just say that. I've always said I think referees might have some favorites who they want to see. And the Super Bowl was a clean game, in my opinion. Like the calls, the no calls, that's how it's called. The AFC Championship was the opposite of that. Like, forget what Hollywood did to himself, or not Hollywood. Damn, I'm Zay Flowers. I'm thinking he's Hollywood Brown. Forget all that, but the Chiefs got away with a lot of holding, man. Like, a lot.
Yeah, I mean the Super Bowl talk, I will say that from what I did watch, because I was not paying attention. I was, mainly looking whenever, something big would happen, and I did watch the whole overtime. But I was watching on Twitter, and I mean, for the most part, I didn't see anything about, the refs being, a big part of it, which was good to see. But I mean, the whole
it was a very fair game.
Scripted thing. It's just, I mean, I make a joke out of it, but like people are really running with it and saying that it's scripted. Like, come on,
don't watch it.
Exactly.
And I was telling people the divisional round, like when everybody swore it was the Ravens and Niners, I was telling this ain't gonna happen. I told them that, and the same people that believed it ended up getting upset. And it's like, but I'm not. If I believe something scripted like that, I'm not going to be so invested in it.
Yeah,
is that Roger Goodell isn't there scheming stuff up in the lab, man. He might want to see the Chiefs in Vegas, but I doubt he's there telling the refs to fuck somebody. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Any excuse people can throw around to just feel like they have power and feel like they're right.
See, I'm very happy because before the year I said AFC Championship appearance or bust. I got that.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar never been there before, and Patrick's been there. That was his 6th time.
Yeah.
So we lost to the Patriots dynasty in this game. I mean, it happens, bro. We lost to y'all's dynasty in this game. We ain't ever lost a Super Bowl, but I'd be damned, we've lost enough of these.
Yeah.
Comments.
Yeah, I saw one of your posts the other day about the teams, Super Bowl records, and the Steelers being 6-2, going on 15 years since they've last won one. I mean, it's time. Yeah. We got to figure something out, and I think I don't know. I'm still I still think Kenny is. I think Kenny needs another year with Arthur Smith, and then we can make the final judgment on if he's the guy or not the guy. I don't want to see them. I hope Mason re-signs with them versus him going somewhere else and then they go get a Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill or Justin Fields, whatever.
It's the same thing again if you did that.
Exactly. It's just like the bringing in Mitch and then okay, that's great. But why, at that point, then Kenny's confidence is going to take a dive, and then you're stuck with Tannehill, who is 35, I think. Stuck with
he's around that, yeah.
or Kirk Cousins, I think, is 35.
Yeah,
I don't know how old Tannehill is, and I mean Justin Fields is Justin Fields, but at the
he's
same
young. Man.
time,
He's
like
so young.
it.
Justin Fields would be interesting with Mike T. Got Cody Summer in the house. I appreciate you, bro. This is my homie Nick. We're gonna be trying to get more of these out together. We cover it
Yeah,
all basically.
Tannehill's 35 as well. So I mean, like you have them for less than 5 years max. I
And
mean it.
maybe one hit could
Yeah,
ruin it all at
yeah.
their age.
So I mean over out of those three, which are the big three that I've been seeing, what they Steelers could go and get, it would have to be Justin Fields. But at the same time, it's like,
That's worth
how
it. That's
can
worth a gamble.
yeah, yeah.
I'd say so. I don't want him in our division as a hater. I do not. But as a football fan, that would be fun. Do I want to see him twice a year? I do not. I really don't.
It just
He's just on a bad team, man.
yeah. I
He's so
just
talented.
it would the Steelers line just I don't think would be beneficial having him. The Steelers wouldn't benefit any more than having Justin Fields over Kenny Pickett with the offensive line that we have.
That's
It
true.
just it's not going to happen.
That's got to be addressed this offseason for sure, dude.
Mason
I
Cole
wish they worked that
has
out.
to be the next one to go. Mitch was cut. No word on what Mason's going to do, but Mason Cole I think has to be. Mason Rudolph, no idea what he's going to do. I don't see him coming back
I have no clue what it's in the
after
works that guy.
after the last 3 or 4 games that he played. He deserves a shot to go somewhere and be their guy.
Do you think Tampa should lock up Baker?
Yes.
I think so too. That's
Yes.
definitely a hot topic right now. And
Yes.
obviously some people might not like it, but look what he just did for them in a rebuilding
Exactly.
year.
Exactly.
So I'm happy for him. He could have won that game in Detroit. I think if he beat Detroit, he probably could have beat the 49ers. But I hate saying that because I'm not a big hypothetical guy. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard not to think.
So I'm looking 51
Ooh.
minutes ago, Baker Mayfield, an insider has apparently leaked what the Bucks are offering him.
Nice.
Their strong effort to re-sign him, with reports suggesting Mayfield could command a contract worth $75 million over 3 years.
Wow. He deserves it though.
Yes. I
Absolutely.
mean, what he did in Cleveland, it's so funny because I was just talking to a friend at work about this today. I'm like, what he did in Cleveland his last year when he got hurt, and then what he did, whatever, how
He's
he
been impressive.
played was insane. And then they just let him go, or they trade him or whatever, and then they go get Deshaun Watson, and then of course everything happens with Watson, how
Yeah.
it unfolds. I mean,
And then Flacco comes in and outperforms you.
yes, yes,
Flacco, my guy. That one
yeah,
day I just whipped a jersey out of nowhere. But nah, Flacco, man, when he ain't got what's the word? When he's got no reason, that's when he balls.
yeah,
He had no reason to come in there and rip off those wins like he did.
yeah,
But when you get a little bit of expectation versus the Texans, gone. I love Flacco though, and I kind of wanted to have part 3 with the Browns in the playoffs. The other side of me was like, I don't even want them to have the opportunity to be the ones to knock us off, because that'd be a hard pill to swallow.
yeah,
It would make you think like you booted Flacco for Lamar,
yep,
and then this happens, which
yep,
I wouldn't view it that way, but you know how that's how people would say
yeah.
it.
That would be the media and how it would be spun and everything.
That'd be me not watching ESPN for a week. I mean, losing to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I mean, it ain't even that bad. I don't understand why people are deactivating their Facebook. Like the loss to the Titans is the 1 seed hurt. It hurts, and it's going to take a while to get over. But I mean, part of me kind of expected it.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to say it publicly to my following because the Ravens the following is nasty with that.
yeah,
I can't let them down, even though in the back of my mind, you just kind of knew. I mean, I kind of felt when they knocked off Buffalo, I was like, damn it. Like right when I wanted, that's all I needed Buffalo to do. But when Buffalo's a good team,
Yeah.
sad you knocked off the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and the Miami Dolphins team was the number one offense, and they didn't even get a touchdown. That's tough, man. We might not see another run like that for a while in the AFC because the AFC is too deep for that shit.
Yeah. It
Patrick should have glided through this conference the way he did. Next year, we coming for that head. The whole conference coming for that head. We don't want to see no three-peat.
Yeah, and like Travis said after whenever he got to have his speech about the target on their backs and everything, and they
Real.
don't care.
They don't, but it's
They'll
real.
find they'll find ways to win, and
Oh, they'll be in the playoffs, probably top two, top 3 seed.
it
I ain't hating on it. If I seen them in the Super Bowl again, I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
But
I mean,
you got to keep the health. You got to keep that team together.
yeah. I mean,
What if Chris Jones says he ain't coming back? That defense don't look so scary.
at this point,
Legarius
like
Sneed.
it's. I mean, I think Kelsey before the start of this year, he had 3 years left, and he said he wanted two more rings out of the last 3 years that he has. So, I mean, who knows what he's going to do?
Yeah. That team's due a lot of money this year, but I did read Patrick's going to rework. He has to. If you want to be the next Brady, which you're on the right track for that, you're going to have to come off some of that money and spread it.
Yeah.
And all these State Farm commercials and Mahomes, you don't
Prime.
need big NFL money. You can
He's
go make that at State Farm money.
he's got Prime now too. So
Yeah. He could literally make the bare minimum in the NFL and still be good.
oh, yeah.
The endorsements, I mean, these guys get when you're his caliber, the world is yours. I've always
Cody,
respected Patrick. I've never had a bad word to say about him besides Kermit, but he jokes about that. He talks like him. I don't know if you've seen the clip. I shared a media member waited 5 or 10 minutes to get that question. And he asked him, he's like, can you do a Kermit impersonation? He's like, I'm talking now. And he ain't wrong. You don't have to impersonate. He is Kermit.
yeah.
But I think he's a good dude, man. I always rag on Brittany Mahomes. I want to say this on the national airways while we talking. I seen them at the Kansas City hospital, Brittany and Patrick, with the victims. I have nothing but positive stuff to say about that. You know, I don't really like Brittany, but for her to go do that with him and to care about them victims, that's touching. I don't like Taylor Swift, and what she did donating money was thoughtful. But I feel like you don't need to make all that kind of stuff public.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw your post about that, and I mean
That's really my
it
stance on it.
is what it is with whatever they want to do, and I mean I just don't look into all that stuff because I just don't have the time or don't want to put my energy into that stuff and end up fighting with people
It
that
ain't
are
worth it.
that fighting pointless fights.
As you see, it's everyday battle. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
While we on that note, people think I'm paid on this app. I ain't gonna name drop or nothing. Anybody that really knows me has seen a lot of this, but I'm gonna say this now. And there comes a time I do make money here. I'm thankful for everybody. I am. But if somebody told me today after hating on me, disrespecting me, I removed them. I didn't even argue with them. They back on my. Of course, I'm public. You can hop on my shit if I don't block you.
Yeah.
Telling me I'm the reason that I make money. Like their hateful comments are why I make money. I don't make money on Facebook. Only thing I have unlocked is stars, and that don't make you shit.
Yeah.
The other stuff I have met the criteria, but my community violation standards, it takes sometimes 90 days to a year to clear. So I went through this a year ago. I hate it. I'm explaining it again. So by the time it clears, oh, my watch time, oh, everything's gonna reset.
Yep.
So I'm back on that bullshit again. But maybe next time the wait won't be as bad because I feel me and you both are getting better views every time we on here,
Yeah.
man.
I've been seeing you posting your analytics and hitting 1 million, and
Killing
I'm sticking right at that like 660,000 mark. And I
Killing
mean,
it.
Facebook, I'm active, but I'm not
That
very
takes
active.
time to grow.
The
Very long time to grow that shit.
the thing that's been getting me going is all my posts that are starting to get reactions and comments and everything, like my post about the Steelers, a couple weeks ago, and I can't even remember what it was, but I would just go through the comments and I'm just laughing and I'm just like, thank
Mm-hmm.
you for that. Thank you for that engagement.
That's
Thank you for
true.
that engagement. Um, yeah. So I'm trying to focus on YouTube. That's why I'm trying to get
Trick, man. Focus on where it's growing.
exactly.
That's
I mean,
kind of
I
why I
just,
do with Instagram and Facebook. I mean, I'm gonna give love everywhere, but
yeah,
where it's growing, really feed it. That's what's helped me. But what I was saying a minute ago to you guys about all of that stuff, somebody saying that they're why I make money. Ain't nobody's 6 cents ain't worth disrespect. Even if I was making money today. And what I'm trying to say is about all that. It's like I ain't got time for it. You can't put a value of money on my piece. Uh, I've blocked a lot of people. A lot of people have blocked me, and for whatever reasons it is, there's reasons it's happened. But make no question about it. You guys have helped me. Y'all have helped me grow. You're very supportive of me. I've done this myself though. If I make money, I've earned that.
yep,
Ain't you commenting a hateful comment like, for example, this person I'm talking about, I'll post what's for dinner. I ain't eating. All right. You have no right to feel like you've made me any money. I don't care for that. I'd rather make no money and build the right following the right way, like I'm trying to do. Nick could tell you, I've gotten rid of a lot of people I was close with.
yeah,
It ain't hard
yep,
to get rid of people I don't fuck with. I've been through a lot the past month, dude, and honestly, things have been a lot better since those days. Uh, just I'm at a peace of mind, man, and I'm just quick instead of letting stuff, you know, build up and escalate. I handle it and it be that.
yeah. That was very similar to what people were coming into one of my posts and saying, like, just I'm like, if you why are you choosing to come onto my post and say this stuff when I'm just giving what I read and posting what I post. It was something about TJ Watt not winning defensive
Yeah.
player of the year. And
He was snubbed.
I mean like everyone is like, "Oh, but he's not double teamed as much as Miles Garrett." I'm like, "What do you like well, what's a double team?" Because I see videos every
It's
single
triple
week
team sometimes.
of TJ Watt
Okay.
being double team, triple team, being held every other play, and the refs
Yeah.
don't call it at all.
These
So
people, they see what they want to see. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? I have nothing but respect for TJ Watt. I'm tired of seeing him on your team every time we play, though. But outside of that, if you're a fan of football, you have to respect the Watt brothers. They're killers. I mean, a lot of the stuff people say about these two men, they ain't gonna say to their face.
No.
I see
And I
steroid boy and this and
I
that. It's like,
yeah, I saw that Antonio Brown tweeted that. Said
oh, yeah, it
something
was who
quote
tweeted
tweeted,
that
yeah,
shit.
quote tweeted his the picture of those two at Central Michigan from like 2007 or whatever it was. Um that yeah, I mean I love when JJ's on the Pat McAfee show and he goes in on talking about PFF and how
Smart.
their grades are, you know, think they know what they're talking about whenever they're talking about, how Miles Garrett is better than TJ Watt and
It's
but yet
crazy.
every other statistic, sacks, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, whatever, TJ Watt is number 1 if or top 1 and 2 and Miles Garrett isn't in the top 5. So really
Yeah.
how is Miles Garrett the defensive player of the year? And then you got Michael Parsons saying don't look at the stats. But then in an interview on Radio Row during the Super Bowl week
Oh, Michael.
after Miles Garrett's been named defensive player of the year, he's like, "Oh, but the stats don't lie." Like,
I'll tell you who's worse that you don't want to see debate. Richard Sherman.
yeah,
He pounded the desk since Christmas night about the 49ers. And not just the Super Bowl about Brock Purdy MVP and this and that. He's still fucking pounding that desk when everything's figured out. He got to let that go. He got to let that. I always thought he was a damn diehard Seahawk. He got more
yeah,
love for the 49ers than the Seahawks, bro.
yeah.
He's about to cry the other day talking to Skip Bayless, man. And I'm like, Skip ain't right either. Skip, I like Skip because he's one of the few media guys that respected Lamar. He said the first week of the season ain't going to the Super Bowl. I didn't like that. But I'm like, dude, please. You know, a lot of the time when big media says that, I'm like, man, Lamar gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't make Super Bowl predictions week one for a reason because I don't know what it's going to look like come playoffs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
prefer my week to week. It also gives me a reason to keep something going week to week.
Exactly.
And people hate on it. They'll be asking me like week 5, who's going to the Super Bowl? Like, buddy, I couldn't tell you. You don't know what it's going to look like. I mean,
Yeah.
the Patrick Mahomes that say, look, the Chiefs can go on like 10-0 next year, starting out, right? Super Bowl favorites, best in the world. Patrick break his leg.
Yep.
That's a whole. It don't matter that they was 10-0. I promise you, they ain't gonna go deep in the playoffs though. Oh, Cody Summer, I didn't even see this about who's going first
Yeah,
overall.
I saw that a minute ago. I just looked up a quick mock draft. Caleb Williams is, I guess, favored to go 1 to Chicago.
Oh
Um,
man, so
I,
they got to move Justin if they do that, then, don't they?
that's what everyone is saying that the Steelers are, because Mike Tomlin was always so big on Justin Fields, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and trade for Justin Fields because they think Chicago is going to go for Caleb Williams.
There was one thing I wanted to mention too. I just now thought about. You know who's been getting the short end of the stick time and time again, and I just can't stand for it no more.
Who's
Steve
that?
Wilkes. He had Carolina when he was the interim coach. He had them winning games, and he had the locker room the best they looked. But Carolina ain't done shit since letting them go. The 49ers, the defensive unit was the best unit in all year and in the Super Bowl. He gets fired as the scapegoat for Kyle Shanahan's shenanigans. I'm not okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think it was the defense's fault why the 49ers lost that.
Yeah, I mean, it was, what it ultimately comes down to, them not knowing the overtime rules. I mean, that kind of falls on the head
Shanahan.
coach,
Yeah.
not the defensive coordinator.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard. And like, you can't even tell the media that because the referees just told you the rules if you didn't know it.
Yeah,
So what
yeah,
were you doing when they were talking?
yeah.
I was
It's
shocked. Whenever they said they wanted the ball, I said, "Oh hell!" I knew I didn't even need to watch anymore. It was
yeah,
building up for the great ending, the
yep.
Taylor Swift Travis Kelce kiss. It was building up for it,
Oh,
and I knew it. It made me sick in my stomach. It's like forget everything else. It's like all year, all game. This
yep,
defensive unit is your
yep,
strongest unit. Why don't you send them out there one more time?
yep.
It blows my mind. It's like, but I guess that's why Kyle Shanahan's 0-3 in Super Bowls.
Yeah, could
I have
very well
nothing
be.
but respect for him, but I can't defend him anymore. He should be replaced, not Steve Wilkes with a championship caliber defense. That'd be like if we fired Mike McDonald. We didn't fire him. He was like a free agent. He's went to Seattle. He's the head coach.
Yeah,
If we would have fired him after what we just did, and holding the Chiefs to 0 points the second half, that'd be wrong because
yeah,
it wasn't the defense that did wrong. Honestly, I love Coach Harbaugh, but I said, look, it's starting to get old, man.
yeah.
And
I was
I
right
was
there with
saying,
Tomlin, right there with that
I was
same.
saying right now, I was saying right now, if Mike McDaniel's pressuring, like I got a head coaching job, I'm leaving. If you have to make him stay by giving him that or telling him, look, man, well, give me one more year with Harbaugh, you're next in line, I would make it happen. But I think I like the replacement of Zach Orr on the defense, but now it's like, man, Harbaugh's got to get out of his own way, bro. His play calling starting to fuck us.
Yeah. Hey, I got to run. I got to do SmackDown, but this was awesome. This was great.
Yes, sir.
So I'm happy to be back and get more rolling out. So thank you for
Yeah,
having me,
man.
and I'll be sure we'll be chatting after SmackDown tonight.
Yes, sir. Anytime, man, hit me up. We'll get back
All
for
right,
plenty of these.
all right. I'll catch you later, guys.
Y'all have a good one, bro. Yeah, guys, pretty solid show tonight, man. My guy Nick went to school.